When the lights went out, I thought it was a prank until I heard them whisper my name. At first, it was faint, like someone testing the sound of it, tasting the syllables. Then came the scratching, slow and deliberate, right beneath the floorboards of my room. My phone flashlight flickered, and I swear I saw a shadow moving against the wall, even though I was the only one there. I ran for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The air turned thick, like the room itself was breathing, and I could feel the hum of something alive just behind the wallpaper. Then, a voice, low, mocking, whispered from the dark, "You shouldn't have stayed alone." That's when I realized the stories were true. The Carver Hotel doesn't let everyone leave. Some guests just disappear. If I'd left 5 minutes earlier, I wouldn't be telling you this. 5 minutes. That's all it takes for the place to notice you, for it to remember you. Now, every night, I still hear the knock at my door, even though I'm hundreds of miles away. I can't explain how. I just know that wherever I go, it follows. The scent of damp carpet, the sound of the bell at reception, the way the walls creak like they're whispering. If you ever find yourself near the Carver Hotel, don't go in. Don't even look at it. But let me start from the beginning. It started like any other road trip. Endless stretches of sunburnt highway, the Australian outback melting into a blur of gold and rust. The kind of landscape that makes you forget the world has edges. I'd been driving for 12 hours straight. Windows down, radio humming some forgotten rock tune, the smell of eucalyptus drifting through the air. I wasn't planning to stay the night anywhere special. But when the GPS pinged a name I recognized, the Carver Hotel, I laughed. I'd seen the videos before. Viral ghost, hunting channels, urban explorers, people daring each other online to spend a night there. They called it Australia's most haunted stay. My mate Dylan rang while I was passing through a patch of desert road. "You're not actually going there, are ya?" he asked, laughing. "It's just another ghost story, mate," I told him. "Probably a run-down motel with bad plumbing." He chuckled. "Right. Just don't end up in one of those missing guest threads. People say the last guy who stayed there left his car running outside. Never came back," I said, half joking. Free parking. By the time I reached the turnoff, the sun was low, orange bleeding into purple. The hotel sat alone at the edge of a dry creek, a relic from another century. Its sign buzzed weakly in the windy's Carver Hotel I. I told myself it was just for the night. Just a cheap room, a bit of nostalgia, maybe even a story to laugh about later. But the moment I stepped inside, it felt like the building exhaled. The air inside was heavy, like it hadn't moved in decades. The lobby smelled faintly of old perfume and damp wood, a scent that reminded me of attics and forgotten suitcases. The carpet beneath my boots squished softly. The pattern faded to the color of rust. Every step stirred a faint creak from somewhere above, as if the hotel was listening. At first glance, it almost looked charming in that heritage nostalgia kind of way. But the longer I stood there, the more the illusion cracked. The walls bowed slightly inward, as if the whole building was breathing. Paint peeled along the corners like shedding skin, and the portraits lining the hall, all stiff, faced men and women from the early 1900s, seemed to tilt ever so slightly, their eyes following wherever I moved. It didn't look anything like the pictures online. The website showed glowing chandeliers, smiling couples at dinner, and a staff photo where everyone looked oddly perfect. Here, the chandeliers were dull, dust-draped skeletons. The dining hall was dark, and no one smiled. Behind the reception desk sat an old woman. Her skin looked paper-thin, her hair coiled neatly in a silver bun. She didn't look up when I greeted her, just slid a brass key toward me and said, in a voice dry as sand, "They like to play with newcomers." I laughed nervously. "Who does?" She didn't answer. Instead, she slipped me a folded piece of paper, handwritten, yellowed at the edges. I shoved it into my pocket without reading. As I walked to my room, the hallway lights flickered once, twice, then stayed dim, pulsing like a heartbeat. That night, I found out what she meant. The room was small but neat, in that hasn't been touched since 1975 kind of way. The wallpaper was yellowed, curling at the seams. The air conditioner groaned every few minutes, struggling against the warm night air. I tossed my bag onto the bed and pulled out my phone. No signal, of course. Figures. I tried to shake the weird feeling from earlier. It's just an old building, I told myself. Creaks, drafts, bad wiring. Nothing paranormal about poor maintenance. I showered, climbed into bed, and almost convinced myself to relax. Almost. Sometime past midnight, the first knock came. Not from the door, but from inside the wall behind the headboard. A slow, deliberate tap paused, then another. I froze, waiting for it to stop. When it did, I laughed under my breath. Probably the pipes. Or rats. Then came the whispering. Faint, muffled voices seeping through the vent above the dresser. I couldn't make out words, but they had rhythm, like someone praying or chanting. I turned on the TV to drown it out. Static, just static. The screen flickered, showing brief flashes of what looked like faces. Dozens of them, blinking in and out of the snow. That's when I noticed a frame on the wall beside the TV. Inside it, a piece of paper titled, "Guest Rules." Don't open your door after midnight. Don't look into the mirror after 3 a.m. Never answer the phone. I read it twice, chuckling nervously. Right, haunted hotel starter pack. Probably an Aussie version of Scooby. Do nonsense. Still, I slid the deadbolt across the door and pulled the curtains tight. The whispers faded for a while. I checked the time, 2:57 a.m., 3 minutes until mirror time. I thought, half joking, half daring. That's when the phone rang. The phone rang 3 times before I pulled the cord from the wall. No one on the other end, just a low hiss, like breath against glass. I didn't sleep after that. When dawn finally scraped through the curtains, I packed my bag, ready to check out. But something, curiosity, arrogance, stupidity, take your pick, kept me there. I wanted proof. If the hotel was really haunted, I'd see it for myself. So after a bland breakfast in a dining room that smelled of dust and lemon polish, I started exploring. Most of the rooms were empty, doors slightly ajar, revealing bare mattresses and wallpaper peeling like old skin. A few were padlocked shut, though one stood out, room 313. The number was carved, not printed, into the door. Rust streaks trailed down the handle, and a chain hung loosely across it like an afterthought. I leaned in, pressing my ear to the wood. Something shuffled inside. Slow, dragging footsteps. I stepped back fast, heart hammering. "Don't bother," a voice said behind me. I spun around. A man stood at the end of the hall, mid-40s maybe, pale, unshaven, eyes sunken like he hadn't slept in years. He wore a wrinkled dress shirt and a name tag that said, West. He smiled weakly. "That room's been sealed since '87. Fire gutted it. No one's supposed to be on this floor." "Then why are you here?" I asked. He ignored the question, digging into his pocket. "You ever notice how some faces stay the same here? Like the place remembers them?" He handed me a faded photograph, black and white, edges burnt. 2 men standing in front of the Carver Hotel. One was him. The other was me. My throat went dry. "Where did you get this?" He just smiled. "You've always been here." I stumbled back, clutching the photo, my pulse thundering in my ears. I checked the time, 3:00 a.m. The mirror rule. I couldn't shake the photo. Every time I looked at it, the air around me seemed to thicken. My reflection in the hallway mirror looked pale, distorted. Older, somehow. I needed answers. So I went downstairs to the reception desk, hoping to find some kind of security log, anything to prove this was all a sick joke. The old woman was gone. In her place sat a flickering monitor, looping grainy black, and white CCTV footage of the lobby. I leaned closer, heart pounding. The timestamp read 1979. There I was, walking through the front doors. Same jacket, same backpack, same nervous half-smile. I stared in disbelief, frame after frame. The footage played, and I watched myself check in, talk to the woman at the desk, take the key exactly as I had the night before. But then I saw it. In every frame, just over my shoulder, stood something. A shadow, too tall, too still, lurking behind me. Its shape never changed even as I moved. It was as if the shadow wasn't following me, but was attached to me. I rewound the tape, again and again, praying it was a glitch. It wasn't. That's when I realized something awful. There were dozens of other clips, each labeled with different years, 1992, 2008, 2015, and in every one I was there. Different clothes, different angles, but always me. I've uploaded the footage below. See if you can spot it. Maybe I'm imagining it, maybe not. But there was something behind me in every frame. And as I leaned closer to the monitor, it flickered, just for a second. And I swear the reflection on the screen blinked. That's when the phone rang again. But this time, I answered. The moment I picked up the phone, I wished I hadn't. At first, I thought it was static again, but then I heard it, my name, over and over, in a voice that didn't belong to anyone human. It sounded layered, like a dozen people whispering through a cracked speaker, all trying to imitate me. I slammed the receiver down, but the whispers didn't stop. They leaked from the vents, crawled under the door, echoed in the hum of the lights above me. The bulbs began flickering in rhythm with my pulse. Bright flash, darkness, bright flash, darkness, until I could see my own shadow twitching on the wall like it had a mind of its own. I stumbled into the hallway, gasping for air. The corridor stretched longer than it had before, lined with doors that hadn't been there. The carpet pulsed beneath my feet, like veins. Then I saw him, the man from earlier, the one who gave me the photo. He was standing outside room 313, staring right at me. "Who are you?" I shouted. His mouth opened, but the sound that came out wasn't human. It was a wet, garbled echo of my own voice, repeating, "You've always been here." I tried to laugh, my voice cracking. WUS TripAdvisor didn't mention the demons. But the joke didn't land. The lights dimmed again, and every door in the hallway began to rattle, one by one, faster, like a countdown. And through all of it, the whispers grew clearer, closer. They weren't just saying my name anymore. They were calling me back. There's something about room 313 I still can't explain. I ran for the exit. But every hallway led back to my door. I sprinted down the hall, the sound of my footsteps echoing like thunder. But no matter how far I ran, the hallway never ended. Every turn led me back to the same wallpaper, the same flickering light, the same door, room 313. I tried the stairwell next, but it spiraled down forever, each landing an exact copy of the one before. The air grew colder with every step, my breath misting in front of me. Somewhere below, a faint elevator bell kept chiming, steady, patient. When I finally stumbled into the lobby, everything had changed. The chandeliers glowed blood red. The portraits on the walls had new faces, mine among them. And standing behind the front desk was a man I hadn't seen before. Perfect suit, slicked hair, polite smile that didn't touch his eyes. "Checking out already?" he asked. His voice was calm, crisp, like a salesman. "You've only just arrived." "I want to leave," I said, breathless. He tilted his head. "Oh, I'm afraid the Carver doesn't do early departures. We keep our best guests forever." I backed away, but every step brought me closer to the desk, like the floor itself was bending toward him. The air around him shimmered, heat, haze mixed with static. He smiled wider. Management takes great pride in remembering those who appreciate the stay. Then he reached under the counter and set something down in front of me. A tarnished brass key. It had my name engraved on it. I don't remember what happened after that moment, only the ringing. It filled my ears, my head, the entire room, until everything went white. When I woke, the world felt hollow. The air was still, too still, like a photograph pretending to be alive. I'm not sure how long I've been here now. Days. Weeks. Time doesn't work right inside the Carver. The clocks all tick, but none of them move. Sometimes I hear footsteps in the hall, my own maybe, and the faint buzz of the lobby bell. I tried recording this to warn whoever finds it. The microphone keeps cutting out, and when I play it back, my voice sounds wrong, stretched, distant, like it's coming from the other side of a wall. I see my reflection in the windows now, not outside, not free, just staring back from the dark, waiting. If you ever see the Carver Hotel online, don't click the booking link. Don't search for it. It'll find you first. Some nights, when the wind hits just right, I can hear the new guests arrive. Their laughter echoes through the halls before it turns into screams, and I greet them. Welcome to your stay. If your phone rings after this video, don't answer. It means they heard you. Some guests say the Carver Hotel reaches out through signals, calls, texts, even dreams. So if you hear that faint ringing in the dark, just let it ring. Comment below if you've ever stayed somewhere that felt wrong, a place that watched you back. I'll read your stories, if I can get a signal from here. And if you want more cases like this, stay tuned. The Carver isn't the only place that keeps its guests. Some doors never close once they open.